Tony D'Angelo. Now that's a gimmick, a proper gimmick. It's not I want to be the best wrestler out there or whatever. It is a proper gimmick. And you know what? The way he plays it, dude has the potential to go far. Now, right now, he's taking time off, but that's not the issue. The issue is what will happen once he comes into the main roster, and that's the moment his whole thing will just be thrown out the window, more than likely. And it's sad, because we've seen this. People come into the main roster and they're just not up to par to what they used to be, or anything else for that matter. They just don't feel the same. But Tony D'Angelo has potential. His gimmick is a mafia gimmick. Okay, makes sense. There is no way you can fail with Tony D'Angelo. The guy knows what he does. He knows his strengths. He uses them. It's all in the booker's hands then to use those strengths and the best of his knowledge to put a rocket on this guy and send him to the moon. Because that's what you have with Tony D'Angelo. And it's not even hard. It's not even hard. You don't even have to be a genius when it comes to writing. You don't even have to be mediocre as a writer to do this. All you have to do is watch some good movies, and then be like, yes, that makes sense. I'm gonna do that. There is no way you can fail with Tony D'Angelo except by literally being too stupid to do anything proper, or screwing yourself over because you think you're smarter than you actually are. This is a gimmick that can't fail. Neither could the Bloodline Hunter Drew McIntyre, but you know what? That's a precedent. We know Triple H, the Noseman, has no problem falling on his face. No issue whatsoever with that. He can just take it like a champ and destroy storylines and the credibility of the wrestlers under him. But if you just stop for a moment and think things through proper, there's no way you can fail with Tony D'Angelo. You go at Goodfellas, okay? You make him ruthless, you make him charismatic, whatever. You have the wrestler that can do it. You have a wrestler that can pull and do whatever you want out of him within this gimmick. Goodfellas, very good idea to start off with. And here's an idea. Keeping him by himself is a problem. It doesn't help the gimmick, and it doesn't really help it won't help his storylines, that is, if it's just him by himself. Yeah, okay, the Don is good, but a mafia boss isn't the mafia boss if he is by himself. And that's why you give him goons. But no, we're not doing the whole D'Angelo family thing that Shawn Michaels did in NXT. No. The problem with that one is that at a certain point, you might give him a guy that will outshine him, willingly or not. Or there might be a guy that the crowd just latches on to, like Jacob Fatu in the Bloodline storyline. And where did that go? Doesn't matter. You know what I mean? The idea is to give him goons, like no names. If possible, give them masks on their faces and they just attack people. Think of it like Payday. Give them like Payday masks and they just help Tony D'Angelo when he's fighting. Here's the thing. When he's fighting stronger opponents. Like, if you're gonna keep him in the mid-card, have them come in and make a distraction or whatever, they should never be the focus of anything, those goons. Those goons shouldn't be like Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate with the El Grande Americano gimmick. No. Those goons should be pure and simple, just there to create havoc, chaos, and help the Dawn. Perfect. That is all that you need. That is the perfect face storyline. And they can come in important matches, like, Tony D'Angelo can win tag team matches with somebody else random that you threw together, because why not? Let's have them do a tag team match, because the other two guys also have a story. Tony D'Angelo beats, Carmelo Hayes, why not? But then, he has to fight somebody that's important, somebody that's a champion. Let's say he goes Sami Zayn, for example. To beat Sami Zayn, he will need those goons to help him. And that's when they strike, and that's when they create distraction. Boom. US title put on Tony D'Angelo. Easy idea. The idea is the goons should only be used for big and important matches. Because if you're going to give Carmelo Hayes to Tony D'Angelo, it doesn't make sense. The next part is that Again, this is the guy you can put a rocket on and you're going to be able to send him to the main event. You could play him as a face too, but the face only works after the heel with the goons and so on. He loses everything, okay? Just goes down the pit, loses titles. He gets into positions where his goons are doubting him, and you don't have to show them, don't have them talk, don't have the goons talk, just have them come in lesser numbers than before. That could work pretty well. And then to make the face turn, you look at the Sopranos. Perfect, clear. You make him a complex character with all these emotions and stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe bring in Stevie Richards to play a doctor again, a psychologist again. He seems to be begging for that Fed check. So, might as well do that. And that's how you can have a face Tony D'Angelo. That can pretty work. And you see what's the thing? You have to just get inspired by other things and understand how to apply them. And that's the biggest problem when it comes to the Noseman. But moving on to the story. You see, you can have Tony D'Angelo like this. And then if you really want to get spicy, let's say you really want to turn him a heel. Let's say he's bombing as a face. It just doesn't work as a face. He's a heel. Then after this whole, we had him as the Don. And then we had him as Tony Soprano, a very complex character with emotions and feelings. He's trying to do the good thing. He's trying to be the good guy. But just like Tony Soprano, he can't. He's not a good guy. He's not the good guy he thinks he is. And that's when you make him ruthless. And I have the perfect inspiration for that. It's called Gomorrah. Now, Gomorrah is an Italian TV series about the Gomorrah, which is like La Cosa Nostra, but it's, how should I put this? It's more on a street level, more on a gang thing. It's vicious, it's ruthless. If you think of mafia movies, you know how they always kind of have rules. More or less. They tend to bend. But they have certain rules in mafia movies and so on. The Gomorrah doesn't. There are no rules. Plane attacks in the view of civilians, in the view of cops. Property destruction. No care about starting wars left and right. Again, I would recommend watching the whole series because it helps with understanding it better than I can explain. Just have him ruthless. Oh, who attacked, I don't know, Aleister Black, who's the Intercontinental Champion or World Heavyweight Champion? Well, you see, you don't have to go to that mystery of who attacked him, because if you go to this Gomorrah route with Tony D'Angelo, he's doing it in plain sight. He's literally taking out the champion and he doesn't care. Perfect. And you know what's funny? All these ideas are simple. You just get inspired by certain things that were, and you apply them to a person that can work with these things. And he can. He's proven that he can work both in the ring and on the mic and with storylines. The problem is that if he gets pulled to the main roster, he's screwed. That's not to say that he won't be screwed when he comes back if he stays in NXT, but he's screwed nonetheless. Tony D'Angelo is, in my opinion, at this point, one of those wrestlers that was born too late. He would have been a perfect character during Vince's reign. Now, granted, there's also the possibility that Vince would have treated him like a joke, but it is what it is. The truth is that certain wrestlers now, it's not only regarding Tony D'Angelo, it's also regarding other wrestlers. There just isn't a spot for them all the time. There just isn't really the place for them. Look at AJ Styles. AJ Styles is doing nothing but, I know at this point he's feuding with the Americanos, which I guess is good. He gets TV time and he does have a match with Cena. But before this, he was kind of doing nothing. Look at all the luchadors that Triple H brought in. Ray Phoenix, what was his name? Penta, Dragon Lee, Joaquin Wilde, was it? Joaquin Wilde or something? He's in the LAO. I think I remember him from the Triple A event, excuse me. It doesn't matter. There are too many people on those rosters and there's nothing much they can do. Like, when was the last time Otis had a match? That's a good question. When was the last time I saw American Made? Now that I think about it, I don't even remember that. You see, that's the problem. There's too many people and there's not enough time. And Triple H has his favorites, and he really likes pushing those favorites of his. And that's kind of the sad reality of the Fed right now. And it's going to be the sad reality that we will have to face when Tony D'Angelo gets moved to the main roster. Because he ain't going to be as good as he was in NXT. And while the possibilities of becoming great, because the possibilities are there if you have a proper booker that knows what he's doing, well, they are there, but they're not going to be used by Triple Nose. That's for sure. And that is quite sad. But you know what? Maybe I'm all doom and gloom for nothing right now. Maybe Noseman will be able to do this, or he'll come up with something amazing. But if I have to go through another wait and see, and it's just a utter failure like all his wait and sees have been until now, I would rather not. I would rather not.